Riot Fest Day 1. The porta potties are fresh, and so is Deryck Whibley from Sum 41. Hi.
Hello, how's it going?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good, I just got here.
You just got on site.
Literally just got here, came straight here.
Came straight to me?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I stole you away from the experience of Riotland and experiencing the
this
entire
is where I'd
setup
rather
there.
be here anyway.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're here. It's been a long time coming, leading up to this weekend with you. First off, I'd like to say you are not joining Oasis. You are not joining Linkin Park. Are there any
And
other
I'm quitting
rumors?
Sum 41, so I got no job.
Are there any other rumors that you'd like to dispel while we're here?
Oh, I don't know. There's probably a ton of rumors out there that I don't know about, so we'll just let them live.
It's so random. All these things are like, well, Deryck and Oasis and Deryck and Linkin Park and...
Yeah, it sounds cool, but in reality, nobody wants me, so...
That's not true. We all want you, and we don't want you to leave us. Get to that in a minute. You just are fresh off your late-night Riot Fest show at Concord the night before last.
Yeah.
So how was the show?
It was great. It was really good, yeah. It was awesome.
And you've had time off in Chicago in between?
Yeah, I did a little guitar shopping, which I always like to do here.
Okay, where'd you go?
Chicago Music Exchange.
Oh, the best place on the planet.
I know, it's great. They have some really good stuff right now, too. I've been dreaming about it and thinking about a few different, trying to make some decisions in my mind. I still got another day here, so.
All right, so you walked out of Chicago Music Exchange with nothing?
Well, there was a few options. That's the thing. Now I got to weigh them out.
All right, you want to talk us through a couple of the options?
There's a couple great Fender Jazz Masters there. Ooh. There's this great 57 Gold Top Les Paul there. You know, they all kind of felt like they were made for me. You know, when I play them, they just feel like this was made for my hands.
Yeah, I think you should have both.
Yeah.
All right, so Walking Disaster, that was the big announcement.
Yes.
That we got. Tell me about the impetus of deciding to write a book.
The idea of writing a book had been kicking around for a while. I've been asked a few times, you know, it's come up over the years, and I always just kind of thought, why would I write a book? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. My life's boring, you know, all those things. And I just thought, you know, as the band was calling this the final record and final tour, it kind of made sense to just put a book out to kind of wrap this entire chapter of my life up.
That sounds so final when you say it like that.
Well, everything comes to an end. We all move on. Things change. Life, you know, moves on. I'm excited for the next chapter of life, you know.
I'm excited that you're excited, but I'm also a little sad to hear you talk about it in that way.
I look at it as a positive thing, you know. I'm excited. I'm happy.
Good. Well, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you're allowed to be happy. And you're allowed
to. You know,
to
there's a lot of stuff in the book, too, it's not just, I mean, and I didn't really realize it till I started writing the book, of just how much stuff that I've never talked about before. There's so many stories that are just wrapped up within the behind the scenes of everything, of making the records, writing the songs.
Yeah.
It's not just a bunch of wild party stories. I mean, those are in there. But there's so much more personal stuff, which once I got finished with the book, I was like, oh, wow, this is actually kind of personal and vulnerable. I didn't know I was going to go down that path. But when I started realizing, like, okay, I'm writing a book, like, you know, you got to tell the whole story. Like, what's the point if you're not going to be honest about it?
What was the most surprising thing that you kind of tapped into when you're reminiscing and going back and reliving all of these eras of your life for the book?
I really realized how much heaven and hell there is in my life because it's such extremes. It's really like the highest highs and the lowest lows. And sometimes in the same day, you know, it's like because I'm the sole songwriter of Sum 41, everything that happens in my life comes out of the music because like I can go through something really great or traumatic and at the same day that evening start working on music. So it's all wrapped up in the same thing. It's not like they're separated. You know, while I'm going through tough times or great times, I'm still making music in those times. So I was kind of surprised to see how it's all intertwined together.
That's beautiful. I love these episodes that you've been putting out on Instagram. So some stories obviously didn't make it into the book.
Yeah.
Is there one of these stories that you would share with us now that sticks out that just for whatever reason didn't make it into the book but is juicy?
Juicy
story.
I to be honest, I think like the juicy stories do make it into the book because those are the more personal stuff. Okay. The more stuff that is not tied to my life or creating music, those are the stories like that made it into the podcast, right? Because those are just kind of one-offs. Some crazy night, but it doesn't really have anything to do with how I wrote a song or created something, right? So they just didn't fit. I think there's a story that didn't make the book that I was surprised didn't make the book, and I didn't realize it till afterwards. There was, and it's a longer story, but I'll keep it short. Is when I was married to Avril in 2008, on the main street out of our house, there was this fatal car accident, and her and I were the first people to witness it and be there and try to help out. And I called 911, and she was trying to communicate with the guy, and this driver was slumped over the steering wheel, and there's another man laying in the street screaming, and it was just the two of us there. And I immediately, long story short, it didn't end well for the one guy, and he passed away. And he was my age, and I couldn't really shake that whole experience for a few days, obviously. And you start going down the rabbit hole of like, what if that was me? He was my age. That's the street out front of our house, and I quickly wrote a song called Crash, which ended up on our record Scream Bloody Murder. So if you hear that song, that's like, you kind of, now you would get what that song's all about, those lyrics. That didn't make it into the book, but those are the kind of things that are in the book because it's directly tied to music.
Yeah. It sounds like you need to have a follow-up book already.
That's where I came up with the idea of doing all these podcast videos because I felt like I got another book here.
Yes.
But I felt like, instead of writing another book that I'm going to sell, I'd rather just almost give away a book for free.
Okay, like bonus material.
Yeah, it's bonus material,
like
but it's a whole book's worth of stuff. There's still so many more videos to come.
I love that. So keep an eye out for that. And I have to ask, is this really it? The way you're talking and all the finality, it sounds like you think it's it, but...
I do, yeah.
Final album, final tour is so final. And my spidey senses are tingling in a way that makes me think that maybe there's a way we could get you to turn it around and just hang around a little bit longer as Sum 41.
I think the decision's been made. The announcement's been out there. I don't know if you just say, yeah, just kidding, we're going to stick around. I think, we stick with it, and I go off and do something different. I don't know what the other guy's going to do. I think we all go and do something else.
Okay. Well, I will have you know that Riot Fest has this special magic. I know you haven't been here in, 6 years?
Yep.
But there's something about this festival and this weekend that does something to bands.
And brings them back?
And brings
I've
them
seen that.
back.
I've noticed that, yeah.
So I'm hoping you get a little bit of that magic sprinkled on you. But if you are here, you are lucky that this will be the last Chicago Sum 41 show.
And that's why we did two.
Can't even say it out loud.
That's why we did two shows. Because we love Chicago.
This is the final.
Yes.
Taking the Cabaret Metro stage at 6:05. This whole weekend is NoFX's last shows.
Yeah.
Your last shows. We're all gonna
and
cry
Offspring's
here.
playing Smash, I heard.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a special weekend, I think. It's cool. A lot of our friends are here, so it's exciting for us.
Who are you looking forward to seeing today?
NoFX and Offspring.
Okay. I'll join you.
Cool.
Thank you so much for taking some time. We'll always have a seat open for you.
Okay.
Sum 41 and Q101. Thank you, Deryck.
Cool. Thank you.
It's Riot Fest.